everyone, Katie here, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is an Am I the Asshole video, and we are doing a video about neighbors. So I'm going to do two different Am I the Asshole posts. So I'm going to read them out, and we're going to discuss, or I'm going to discuss. But I am going to record my screen so you guys can see the posts in the comments and stuff. Okay, so this first one is, am I the asshole for not helping my neighbor with her kids after her husband left her? Background info. My husband and I, late 20s male and female, have lived next to Jack and Jill for 2 years. We have a son who's 6 years old, and they have 2 kids who are a similar age, but a little bit older. All the kids go to the same elementary school, and I used to see Jack in the car rider line. Our neighborhood is relatively close to the school, so the school bus does not pick up here. We have to walk or drive our kids to school. Jack and Jill have constantly had loud fights ever since they moved here. And by fights, I mostly mean Jill would scream at Jack and kick him out of the house on a weekly basis. Normally, he would sleep in his car and come back inside in the morning after she leaves for work. Jill works as a CNA at a nearby hospital, the 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. shift. Jack worked from home like I do, which let him take the kids to school. Well, after this last fight, Jack packed up all his stuff and left, flew back home to his mother in a different country. Jill recently came to me saying that she has no one to watch her kids from roughly 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. She asked if she could send them over in the morning, have me watch them and feed them breakfast, and then take them to school, and then later pick them up and feed them dinner and watch them till she gets off work. I explained to her that being expected to be a second parent basically to 2 kids is not something I'm really interested in. I asked how much she was willing to pay, and she said she expected me to do it for free, since she has no friends and no one else to ask. She also asked if I would watch them on the weekend so she could pick up extra shifts, otherwise she won't be able to pay the rent. I told her absolutely not, and that she's insane basically to think I'd agree to something so unreasonable when we aren't even friends and our kids aren't friends either. My husband thinks I was an asshole and that we could offer to at least help sometimes for the kids' sake. My stance is that we both know that she wouldn't do the same for us if the roles were reversed, since Jill isn't really a nice person. Am I the asshole for not helping my neighbor with her kids after her husband left? So, before I talk about my judgment, let's go into the comments. Let's see what the comments say. This first one says, nope, not the asshole. Do not budge. The husband needs to come back and step up. Tell your husband to look after the kids. And someone commented, absolutely do not tell your husband any such thing. You, of course, know who will end up watching those kids. This one says, not the asshole. This is quite an excessive and unreasonable expectation. It's not even her asking you for help. It's her expecting you to pick up her slack. 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. Monday through Friday with breakfast and transportation. 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday with snack, dinner, and transportation. Weekends as needed. And let's not forget, it's about time for summer break. So you'd have to provide full daycare while she works? She needs to come up with a plan of her own that does not involve forcing neighbors to parent her children. I want to just preface this that this is a 6-month-old post, so that's why they said they're getting close to summer break. This comment says, the 5 a.m. start is the absolutely bonkers cherry on top of the whole ice cream sundae of entitlement. Unless OP and her husband have a 7 a.m. start at their own jobs, they're not going to be getting up at 5 a.m. at the moment. So the neighbor wants to get her own kids up by 4:30 a.m. at the latest to get them in their things together and get OP or her husband up to receive them at 5 a.m. Even if both OP and the kids are able to get back to sleep, it will only be for an hour or maybe 90 minutes at a push. So hardly time for the properly restful REM sleep. Or you keep them up but risk waking up OP's son, also reducing his rest time. I might, if I was feeling generous, accept a drop-off that was after the normal time that I get up, but there's not a chance in hell I'd be changing my wake-up time to 5 a.m. for at least 5 days a week to accommodate someone who feels entitled to free child care for me. This last comment that I'm going to read. This is not the asshole, and I think that all of the reasons why are in the OP's post. First, OP states that Jill would scream at Jack and throw him out of the house. With Jack gone, who will Jill now turn her frustrations onto in her ever-increasingly difficult situation as money becomes more scarce? Second, Jill has no friends. Why do we suppose that is? Young couple with younger kids in school who doesn't have at least some friends? Could it be that they've been alienated for some reason? Did you want to find out and join their club? And let's not even get started on the whole for free aspect of her proposal, with food. You know that this will also include transportation to the beach, park, zoo, museum, take your pick, and the price of admission and food as well. Your husband may have a good heart, I get that, but then again I presume that the bulk of the work falls upon OP, and perhaps he hasn't fully thought through the financial implications. But especially if you believe that Jill wouldn't do it for you, no, just no. So, in my opinion, I agree with these comments that OP is not the asshole for not helping. There's a difference between watching the kids every once in a while, allowing them to come over after school for a little bit, but to basically take on 2 kids full time, it's just not reasonable. And this person is not a nice person. So I don't blame you, and I don't think you're the asshole. The second post is, would I be the asshole to insist my neighbor keep a yard schedule? For background, I have a severely reactive rescue dog. She's terrified of other dogs and freaks out majorly when she sees them or hears them. My partner and I have been working with our vet and a behavioral trainer, and we've made some progress, but my dog is still not truly comfortable anywhere but her own yard. A new lady just moved in next door, and she has 2 big dogs. They seem like nice dogs. They are quiet, and she works with them a lot. The problem is that she works from home full-time, and her dogs are always outside. She doesn't leave them there for hours or anything, but I never know when she's going to let them out or for how long. She also spends a lot of time out there with them after work and on weekends. I can hear her training and playing fetch, or she'll have them out with her while she's doing yard work. To be fair, she trains them, and she doesn't let them run up to the fence, and if they do bark, she makes them go inside. They're still out on the other side of the fence, though, and my dog is now scared and reacting in her own backyard. When my dog starts carrying on, she is the one who has to go inside. She already can't enjoy walks, and now she can't even enjoy being outside. I asked my neighbor if she'd consider a schedule for the dog so that my dog can enjoy her yard too, without the neighbor's dog freaking her out on the other side of the fence. She was polite about it, but said no. She bought the house with the yard for her dogs, and they use it. She said she'd be glad to tell me when she's leaving with them for a period of hours, but otherwise she's not going to change what she's doing day to day. So nothing changed, and her dogs get plenty of outdoor time, and mine gets none, except for the stray times when she takes one of her dogs to a training class, or takes both of them for a hike. I'm really upset and want to insist that we adopt a schedule so that my dog can have some outside time too. Would I be the asshole if I insisted she work with me to adopt a schedule that's fair to all the dogs? Edit, so to clarify. My dog does not get the same opportunity as her dogs, and not even close. Her dogs have free access 5 days a week, weeknights and weekends. My dog only gets outside time now when she says she's leaving for a class or a hike. If I let my dog out to sun herself at 10:30 on a Tuesday, sure enough it won't be 5 minutes before she's letting her dogs out, and then my dog freaks out and has to come in. She is not getting anywhere close to what they are getting. Edit again, the fence is a privacy fence. My dog freaks out when she can hear and smell the other dogs as well as see them. She can't see these dogs, but she knows they're there. So we're going to turn to the comments. This person said, you would be the asshole. You asked, accept her response. You don't get to police what people do on their property. Someone commented to that, the neighbor's dogs aren't the problem. There is a fence, and she doesn't let them run up on it. She doesn't let them bark outside, and she doesn't keep them in the yard all the time. She is kind enough to let OP know when she takes the dogs out of the house. Their simple existence on the other side of the fence seems to bother OP's dog. All sympathy for the rescue dog, but it needs to learn to accept that other dogs exist. OP took the responsibility to help this dog, and socializing in safe conditions is part of that. This person says, this is a training issue for you. You need months of solid training with someone who works with reactive dogs. Behaviorists like to medicate. Meds are great, but not the answer alone. Get a trainer who can make real differences for your dog. There are podcasts dedicated to this. You have options other than your yard. My very favorite trainers use decompression sniff walks in the woods for dogs like yours, along with a training program that uses controlled exposure. If you can't dedicate yourself to do this, maybe your dog needs an owner with a bigger property or the ability to train intensively. It's not a flaw if you truly can't handle a reactive dog. They're difficult. This person said, "You're the asshole. You decided to adopt a reactive rescue dog, knowing very well you'll have a ton of work to do with her. You made that decision, not your neighbor. It's your job to make this dog comfortable, and your neighbor shouldn't have to suffer for your decisions." Okay, last set of comments I'm going to read. "You're the asshole, and even your edit doesn't help. The opportunity is there. Just because it isn't taken doesn't mean her dogs have some special privilege yours doesn't. That's like being mad at someone for parking in their own driveway just because you don't have a car and can't do it." Edit, just to add an extra "you're the asshole" for throwing in the "may have to put her down" in the comments after seeing how poorly this post is going. Yeah, that's... So, my opinion is, yes, this person is the asshole. I do feel for her dog. That I do. But, I mean, you asked the neighbor. You gave it a shot. The neighbor said, "No, it's not possible." You know, she gave other solutions, like, "Hey, I can let you know when I'm taking them out of the house." But honestly, I agree with the comments that it is OP's responsibility is the word I'm looking for. It's OP's responsibility to get this dog the training and, comfort that it needs. And, you already have a privacy fence, which is great, but, you can't expect your neighbors to go on a schedule for you. And, just you need to work with this dog or give them to someone who can work with them. So that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts on these two posts were. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.